Dear students, welcome to online education. Let us study Kashmiri poem Tarakh Vanaan Insanas by Abdul Ahad Azad. Stars speak to man and astral address to man. Let me give you a very brief biographical sketch of Abdul Ahad Azad. Abdul Ahad Dar, poetic name Azad, was born in 1903 in Ranga, Chadra district, Badgaum. He received his primary education in madrasa and at home. His father taught him Persian, Urdu, Arabic, and Islamic mystical philosophy, as he was affiliated with Qadri and Naqshbandi orders. He joined as a government teacher during Dogra administration. He started writing letters at the age of 16. Even after second marriage, none of his children could survive. He was probably the greatest modernist poet Kashmir Valley has ever seen. During his short life, he witnessed the ravages of both World War I and World War II. He saw Russian Revolution of 1917, the Great Depression of 1930, the rise of Indian national movement against British, the rise of Muslim League. He was disturbed by the Dogra administration, famines, poverty in Kashmir, rise of national consciousness in Kashmir, revolt of 1931. Thus, he was ambassador of awakening in Kashmir on social, political, and economic fronts, and was dissatisfied with the lifeless and ritualistic traditions. Aristotle tells that life, reality, and history are all on human terms, shapeless and amorphous, but undertaken. But literature takes it, gives it shape and form. Or in Coleridge's analogy, a plant which assimilates nutrients from diverse sources, water, manure, and sunshine, and turns them to appear as beautiful leaf, flower, and fruit. So did Abdul Ahad Azad. He gave his feelings and thoughts and ideas and the social milieu of his times, a beautiful expression. He is considered as harbinger of Renaissance in Kashmiri poetry. He has written wonderful treatises Kashmiri Zuban or Shairi in 3 volumes in 1984 and also published his Kuliati Azad. Kashmiri Zuban or Shairi, Kashmiri language and poetry is considered equal in importance to Brown's History of Persian Literature. He is considered as the first critic of Kashmiri literature and wrote first history of Kashmiri literature, which serves as a classical and reference work with deep research and critical insight. He has the honor of being the first literary research scholar and critic in Kashmir. Abdul Ahad Azad's creed was humanism, scientific temperament, and revolution. He was moved by subjugation, suffering, and poverty of the people of Kashmir. His advocacy of the universal brotherhood was not liked by some sections of conservative society, but he continued with his ideology. His ghazals are better known for his radical humanism in a language that was better understood by the people. He was one of the pioneers of modernist movement and first revolutionary socialist poet of Kashmiri literature. His beautiful poems are Daryav, Shikwa-e Iblis, Pansadar, Inqilab, Gulami. He is also known as Faiz of Kashmir. Azad banun zulm galun vahm karun dur İ myon havas iş sada iş muda myon vatpan panun sanskar vatpan panun sanskar banpan pan rahbar अवतार तय पैगंबर यवा इस पथ का ले. Rise and create your own destiny. Become your own guide. Deities and prophets would only come in years past. Kudratas yudvai byon thaun asan millat kum. Prat ekis byon zamina asmana ase. Gartijara Vishnidrayos, Tsartahalan fear. Why? Gosh, that insan banuk imtihana asihi. His poems are primarily in Wazn form. Most of them clearly shows the three line plus refrain format of Wazn form. Influence. Azad was much influenced by Iqbal, Marx, Rasul Mir, Mahmud Ghami, Mahjur, Premnand Bazaz. He is considered as a revolutionary poet, poet of law, patriotic, poet of nature, future, humanism, and scientific spirit, romantic poet, orientalist, political activist, and reformer. He has placed Ghazal on a firm footing. He traced action urging thought of his poems as the most dominant features of his radically untraditional poetry and allowed that feature to take central position amid all his later poetic outpourings. His poems having all the elements of world resistance literature and went beyond to an expansive space of liberty and inspired many others subsequently. He was almost ahead of his times. Kalam Shamim Ahmad Shamim. He contested domination, suppression, and spread socio-political and economic awareness, though he was not taken in the deserved manner. His literary career can be divided into three phases. First phase, romance, ideas, and wordage of Persian ghazal. Second phase, expunged Persian words and adopt Kashmiri diction. Third phase is consolidation of earlier trends. It sees Azad writing his major poems. His Daryav is written in triads with a refrain and in epic style. Poem Daryav conveys the undulating flow of river like the Veth in normal times and compares it with the human life, journey of human life. Salanchum shar hubaban izdiraban walwalan andar ivanchum zindagi hun soz safran manzilan andar. Fulfillment of urge I find in fuming frenzies of tremulous kind, taste of resonant living I get when out for goals and journeys set. In Keats' words, poetry cannot be written unless one feels the truth of something upon one's pulse. So was poetry of Abdul Ahad Azad. Kul shay hay chui mein walwalan andar mianen walwalan andar ivanchum zindagi hon soz safran manzilan andar and a message thou art all my adorers do ever recall. His ideal man is Rind, a selfless lover of beauty who knows the lover's ache, bleeds at every pain, and shares every pain. Or in Gani Kashmir Zuin, न दुज़दी अज़ भला पहलू अगर आसूदगी ख्वाही कि दर सियाबे कश्ती ayman o pull dar khatar bashad. Do you crave for relief? Do not turn your back on calamities. In floods the boat is safe while the bridge is in danger. The foremost thing with Azad is poesy, his diction, his observation, his penetrating eye, and of course the aching heart bring out a poetry that sings out helplessly. It has an intrinsic musicality because Azad employs almost all the known adornments that embellish poetry. There is alliteration, the simile, metaphor, resonance, and the sound effects of words all joining together to make his poems good lyrics. Loloish Gita Ihun Sozu Gudaz, Magz Koranuk, Way Hund Asal Raz, Mazhaban Dinan Yakinan Hund Muda, Wahdatich Awaz, Yakinuk Sada. The solemn tune of the Gita of love, the kernel of the Quran's secret of descent, the object of the religion's creeds, faiths is the call of oneness and the truth of equality, says Abdul Ahad Azad. It is the innocence he scales, the nationalism he is committed to, the justice he is wedded to, the truth which he wants to prevail, the human concern he is ever singing of, comprehension of Azad's ideals and ideation shall grow as Kashmir finds its own core, as Kashmiri tongue and ethos sheds the alien baggage. Kalhan ganit sarfi serab kiryemi aban, suyab sanibapat zahre hilal asya. The water that brought up Kalhan, Gani, and Sarfi. Why should the very same water turn poison for us? Historians interpret culture, thinkers and scholars with social reformist orientation impinge upon it directly, but poets, in the most fundamental sense, make it although they act on it indirectly. They change and modify language, fill it with new way of speech, in the end, change ways of thinking and feeling. So did Abdul Ahad Azad. Thanks for patient hearing and listening. Thank you.